So WordGrid has these prefabs, and there's more to download from the website, and I find them quite useful for two reasons. First, they are just a nice learning resource because you can open them up and look at all the settings and see how everything is done, basically. Secondly, they are just a really nice starting point for or like for lots of different terrains. I can totally see how one could, yeah, take one of these and build on top. The basic idea is that you start with a basic, just a noise pattern, and then you're gonna apply a bunch of filters to make it look like a landscape. To start out, I like to use a fairly simple material setup. As you can see, there's only two materials enabled here. And the second one just uses a simple slope blending, like just really simple for visualizing where's going to be cliffs and where's going to be grassy stuff. And then you can see I'm enabling a bunch of filters here to gradually build up a more rocky, cliffy type of environment. And I'm playing with the scale of these things because what I'm after now is making like a single mountain for the project I'm currently working on. So I'll just quickly demonstrate how I would go about this. So I'm just increasing the noise scale or decreasing, but yeah, and finding something that I like. Next thing, I'm gonna apply another filter because I only want a single mountain, not a mountain range, so I need to blend the border. It's interesting, but I'll probably go with something less extreme. So yeah, dialing down the strength and a little bit the blend range is gonna give different results. So yeah, I think that's quite an interesting shape for only like a couple of minutes of tweaking. Now I'm just quickly going to sculpt on the terrain. I'm gonna create a custom base shape from the noise that we generated procedurally just just now. And as you can see, you get a grid of tiles where you can select these tiles, and then you can transform them, add to them, pull them, push them, tilt them, scale them, align them, and you by scrolling your mouse wheel, you get a different like smooth radius of effect. Um, and one tool that I really like is the pull tool, which basically seems to pull terrain up from the bottom until it like it brings everything up to the same height. That's quite nice. Everything that you selected. And the other thing I frequently gonna use is the align tool to basically smooth out terrains. Mm. I'm using the fast renderer mode for this, which basically gives you like a matcap view of the terrain, much quicker than the super noisy rendered viewport. And you can subdivide the terrain further if you need to. You're not bound to a specific amount of subdivisions. And there you go. I think I'm quite happy with that little mountain. Next thing, of course, is exporting the mountain. Got a couple of presets for that. In this case, I'm not really interested in the splat map. I will only need the height map to later use it as a stamp in Unity. So another thing I wanted to show here is how you can use biomes to create more complex kinds of environments. Because previously all filters would apply to the entire terrain, and so would the materials. But you have the ability to, yeah, I mean, it's what the name suggests, to create biomes. As many as you want in as many sub-parented groups as you want, but I haven't really been digging into that too much. I think even just using a couple of them can give you really varied results. In this case, using these more flat green grassy plains, and in between them some more rocky parts. I will also try out some different kinds of filters that we haven't seen yet, just to blend these rocks in a little bit differently. Okay, let's amp up the resolution and take a closer look. The camera is so finicky. I think they really need to fix that. Or give us some controls in the user preferences, please. Yeah, but overall, nice and interesting environment. And just to demonstrate how I would be using these height maps in Unity. I opened a project with a simple terrain. It's split into multiple terrain tiles, of course. And yeah, and you can just then use the terrains from World Creator and use them as stems to modify what you have in here. Could of course use the entire terrain like you export from World Creator in its entirety, but I feel for level design it just gives me a lot of flexibility if I can use World Designer to or World Creator to really specifically design like details of the world and then plug them in. That's also why I don't export the splat maps, because splat maps are then going to be generated here in Unity. Okay, it's stamping. And here we go. We got the mountain in Unity. And I think I can set up much better splat maps and textures to make the whole thing look even better. But yeah, just for early exploration and experimentation, this will do.